Blacksmithing has become a lost art, but we use it every single day and still look at it as an extremely valuable part of what we do.
It's something from the old, from way back.
There's not a book that you can go read that will tell you how to produce the things that are produced at Urban Forge.
It takes a craftsman to do something like this, to make everything look natural.
Being in a creative environment like Urban Forge, it's very inspiring.
Whenever I told them I was going to the Ironworks, a couple of my friends were worried because it's obviously not the easiest line of work in the world.
Seems like every other day there's something new to be learned here.
It takes a lot of patience to become a blacksmith.
Every swing of that hammer has to be intentional, and it's coming from the mind of a person who's trying to move this thing into shape.
And it's a wonder that it can be done, as many guys as we have being able to do it, you know, and work together and build so many different things.
We want to make sure that the product is perfect as a handmade product can be.
When you're making something by hand, they don't always turn out exactly the same, and I think that is what makes them unique.
We don't want anything going out of our shop that looks like it could have been fabricated in mass. We want it to have the look and the feel of a handmade work of art.
We do know from the historical record that there were ancient pieces of iron and even bronze that were shaped with heat and force of a hammer and then the skilled hand of a blacksmith. So, been around for a long, long time.
In the old days, they thought blacksmiths were almost magic, and they were highly regarded. It was a professional career. They were regarded in the same way that attorneys or doctors were, except I tell people they had more reliable outcomes, that they could pretty much depend on making that work. I read a study recently that said that there were fewer than 500 full-time blacksmiths working in the United States today. Taught classes here in my shop, at the Ozark Folk Center, at the Arkansas Craft School, at Eureka Springs School of Art. You know, essentially blacksmithing is heating it up, changing the shape, and letting it cool. But the thing that I like the most about it is that it is a tangible thing. There's no intangibles about this. The material, the thing that you're using, has no limitations. Obviously, different metals react different ways, but it's your job to learn what to do, how to do it, when to do it. It has been a key part of the development of civilization, actually. There were blacksmith shops that people could make a living out of that did general blacksmithing work up until about 1960 or 65. In farming communities, ranching communities, mining, timber industry, they were still able to make a living. But these days, you have to be a crafter, you have to be an artisan.
I think what makes our people tick here has somewhat to do with the kind of environment that we're in right now. We live in a small community in the hills of Arkansas. The old timers call it hard scrabble because people worked really hard just to put a living together and did everything that they could do to make that happen. And so it's a tough environment, and people who grow up working hard have the attribute that you need in order to be a blacksmith in this kind of environment. But you also have to have creativity. So if people like Daniel, I can hand something off to Daniel and say, Daniel, I want you to create this table, and I want this table to hold up a thick piece of glass with branches, and I want it to have birds, and I want it to be a fall table, so there should be hand-forged leaves laying on the ground below it at the base. And Daniel will take that idea, and in his mind he pictures it, and then he can make his hands create that. And it's precisely the kind of people that we need in order to make a place like this work in such an isolated environment like the hills of Arkansas.
We wake up about 4 to 4:30 in the morning, and we'll usually drive out and pick up Mr. Dennis. and then we just go straight to Valero, across the street, get our breakfast. Even though I've been here for a little over 3 months now, it's still at times really difficult to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'll go to the back seat, that way I don't have to sit between Mr. Dennis and Dad. And whenever I figured out, oh hey, I can lay down back here and have the entire back seat to myself, I think I figured that out on my second day. It's like I can get an extra 15 to 20 minutes of sleep this way. Why not? .50, 6 o'clock, we come in, clock in, start getting everything ready. We'll make sure all the lights are on, turn our welders on, and then just start working. The first time I think I came to the shop, I was in kindergarten. And what it was I asked my dad, he would come home talking about work, talking about stuff he made. And he didn't have a phone at the time, so I had never seen pictures of it really. And actually got to see it firsthand, and that was probably the first time it really clicked. Like, I kind of want to try this. Working with Dad is interesting. Not bad at all.
You want to grab a couple more?
Yeah, Create's got it. Oh, I was excited because I had no idea what anything was. I knew what a hammer and an anvil were, but that was about the extent of it. I'd heard about what a forge was. I had never seen a forge until that first time I came in.
I'll get 2 of them going.
When you get to the anvil, it's hard to get most guys to understand where to hit it to make it move how you want it to move. Look at there. I believe that looks pretty good. What do you think? Now make sure you're flat that way.
Still trying to wrap my mind around all that. When I look at it, I just see one anvil, like just as it is, but there's a lot of different spaces to be used and reasons for all the nooks and crannies in there.
This business has been here since 1979. I joined the company in '91, sold my interest, left for 17 years, and then came back in 2007 to do a different thing with the company. That's when I brought Andy on board.
We wanted to expand and offer more things to our clients so that we could fit everyone. Urban Forge is really the pursuit of something new and fresh within Stone County Ironworks.
We have artisan blacksmiths and coppersmiths and wood carvers and finish artisans who all interpret wonderful designs that we create for people all across the country.
We look at the product as almost a storyline from inception until it's delivered to its client. And like a story, a really good story, it lasts forever, right? And that story continues to tell itself over and over and over again as the years go on. And in order for that to happen, we have to have some really unique blended elements to this story, right? So the people are extremely important at the foundational level. We have a plant here full of blacksmiths, men and women that are extremely skilled at the trade, and they pour their artistic energy into every single product that goes out the door here.
I've got to have music to work. I've got to have it loud. I like it loud. Rock and roll, hard rock. Now you can put country on, you know, and just want to sit down and cry a little bit and then get back up and work, but rock and roll music. Got to drown out the other noise best you can.
Dennis usually keeps control over the radio. Classic rock station here is pretty all right, but I like to listen to a little bit more faster paced stuff while I'm working. Keeps me going.
His name is Dennis Lemay, but everybody calls him Dennis Lemazing. And he is amazing. He was a blacksmith that had worked here and trained here for a number of years and then left and did other things. And I saw him at a gas station and told him, I'm gonna hire you, buddy. I need to hire you. It took about 2 or 3 years to get him to come back into the fold, but he's here now and doing a great job, and it's like he never left. But that's Dennis Lemazing.
We got a lot of different little tools, like this little twist machine right here. If you didn't know it, I don't know if you'd figure out how to use it, you know, it's crazy. The tools that we do use, they last for years on end. Trip hammers and air hammers and stuff. Then we got a lot of hand tools, hammers and tongs and fullers and stuff like that.
Grinders, welding machine, hands.
I got a knot canopy bed that we got to do, and I thought about putting braiding on it, so. There you go. Less heat's better than more heat.
Today, me and Dennis tied some knots, or he did, and I tried my best. So it was the first time I tried doing that. They go on a bunch of beds and handles and stuff here.
A little too far that way. I would knock that in. There you go.
He's been here about 25 some odd years, and this is my first time trying it, so it wasn't that easy.
Daniel Wade has been with us for a long, long time, a couple of decades. He's a carver, and he's a blacksmith, and he's a highly creative individual. William is Daniel's son, and we've watched him grow up over the years. And being a blacksmith, I don't think was his original aspiration, but somehow over the years, Daniel comes home and he shows him his work, and William comes up here and he visits. And I bought William a pocket knife for his birthday, and I've given him some other things and just encouraged him along the way. And I came back to work after a trip and found out that William was now employed by Urban Forge and being trained somewhat by his own father.
He told me that there was a few people who were excited I was starting out here. I was genuinely worried at first, but knowing that there were people that actually wanted me to be here to learn how to do blacksmithing, that were rooting for me, that made me want to keep going more and just say, well, you know, I'm not getting it right this time, but maybe I will next time.
Are you going this way or this way?
He's excelling. He's not giving up. He's at least trying. And he's got weak spots, but we all do.
Whenever I came in, for one, I didn't know how to weld. I didn't know how to use a hammer, per se. Like I knew how to, swing, but as far as I need to have it hit here in this exact place in this exact way, I didn't have that knowledge or muscle memory at all. Those were definitely some different challenges that I went through. It was a major learning curve.
Lay your circle at the edge, that way you can roll your knot and wrap that on around. Cool. You may get them beds after all.
I think he's real good. He's patient with you. He don't, chew your butt or nothing when you're messing up. He'll just tell you how to do it the right way.
Don't get too close or you bring it up about that high.
It's really all just experience is what he says. You just got to keep on doing it. The more you do it, the more you understand how the metal works and where to grab it, where it bends.
Now work on it right here. See what that looks like. That's just pretty dang close to a knot.
Now they're eating. It takes a little bit. Oh yeah, I know. The difference between 32 years and 3 months.
You're not going to learn any of it overnight. Sometimes you can sit there and reproduce something first go around with somebody guiding you there, but to learn how to do it and do it consistently on your own, that's where the time and the knowledge comes in. Everybody just don't really have the time to do it anymore.
Patience is definitely a virtue in blacksmithing.
It's sort of a giant experiment. We have to invent our process constantly because there are no reference materials to go back to. They're ancient, but they're not appropriate to our business. We would not make it if we didn't know how to hand skills down from person to person to person. I handed the skills that I had down to my son, and he's now exceeded me. So he is able to take what I've learned and incorporate that, but build on it and make it better. And I think that every one of our blacksmiths bring unique talents that didn't exist before they entered the scene. Very important. We're giving them a lot, but they give us an awful lot back.
Welcome to Mountain View, Arkansas. I'm your host, Ed Leon. You've just seen artistry in action at the Forge. Now we're going to take you inside the beautiful Urban Forge showroom right here on the square. Let's go inside. You've seen how the artisans handcraft these works of functional art at the Forge, and here you can see how they'd look inside your home. I'm going to meet up with the father and son team that leads the Forge, Corky and Andy Baker. Hey guys, good to see you again. Hello. Hey Andy, how you doing? Great. Hey, it's so amazing that you guys have a blacksmithing company. I mean, it's such an ancient art, but it's so in line with the traditions and the legacy of this whole area. I mean, that whole idea of preserving the past extends even to the building that we're inside of.
Yeah, this building, the town, everything is so ancient. This building was built in 1929. It's just an
What was it?
This was an old automotive dealership. This is a Ford Motor dealership.
No kidding.
Back in 1929.
And the stonework around the whole square is crazy.
Yeah, this is all mined from a local mine. It's part of the whole Stone County idea, and it's beautiful, yes.
The town bills itself as the folk music capital of the world.
Indeed.
That's so creative, right?
Full of musicians, other makers, whether they are basket makers, quilt makers, and it's just sort of it's a culture that's based on creativity and artisans here.
And we just sort of tap into that.
Wow. Well, that culture of Ozark Artistry is certainly reflected in the special pledge items we're about to see. Items that represent our way of saying thank you for supporting your public television station. That support is how we can bring you programs like Urban Forge, Ozark Artistry, and the incredible bounty of PBS programming you see year-round. When you call in with your support, you're ensuring that we can continue to bring you the local and national PBS programs you love. And as a thank you, we have some wonderful items direct from the forge and handmade by some of the artisans that we are seeing on the show. Let's begin with the first one, which is this leaf key ring.
Yeah, so this leaf is a great piece. It's small, but it has probably the most attention to detail of just about any piece that we make. Starts off as a very non-leaf shape, and it's worked while it's hot with a hammer and anvil until it becomes the shape of a leaf. Every vein that you see here is an intentional strike of a sharpened hammer.
Wow, I can see a machine stamping out millions of these things, but this is made by one individual, right?
Absolutely.
So no two ever look the same.
No, right, and I could see this in my backyard. By the way, can you tell a Daniel leaf from a Dennis leaf?
You kind of can. If you've been around it for a while, they have their own techniques. Yeah.
These are $7 a month, $84 a year as a contribution to your public television station. The next item we have are wall hooks, and this is a set of 2.
Right, exactly. This is a great piece to bring a little bit of the outdoors in. So if you have a space on your wall that needs something very interesting and creative, this is a cool piece to do that. It also has a leaf and a branch here for hanging various items on
I love
your
how
wall.
you guys are committed to that kind of organic, natural vibe that all your products seem to have.
Yeah, that design element sort of runs through everything that we do, whether it's just a texture on a piece or something that looks like a tree growing out of the ground.
Right, right. And you get 2, right?
Exactly.
Hold yours up, Andy. We got to
absolutely.
make sure we get both of them. You get 2 of them. All right, the next item is the mug stand and custom mugs. $17 a month, $204 a year. I could see this on a kitchen island everywhere in America.
It's a really interesting way to display your mugs on a countertop. So it looks like a miniature tree with branches that come off that your mugs hang from. And it comes with 2 ceramic mugs with our hammer and anvil emblem emblazoned on it.
Who did that logo?
Yeah, so that was an Andy idea.
An Andy idea, nice.
So this is 18 inches high. It fits underneath the wall cabinet. It's just really nice for a copy
how do you make all
center.
these little tiny branches? How do you do that process?
Most of those are recycled from small pieces in the forge. We use everything as many times as we possibly can.
So nothing goes to waste.
Nothing goes to waste.
That's awesome. This is cool. I call this the fire pit combo, but it's a hot dog cooker and a fire poker. $25 a month, $300 a year. This poker is just like a work of art in itself.
Yeah. Not your typical poker. Most pokers that you'll see are very utilitarian. This one is beautiful. It looks like a branch. It's very organic in its shape. The handle's a little larger, and it's finished in an accent color that makes it look a little different than the rest of the piece.
Well, it almost makes it look like wood, but it's actually like a copper finish.
It is, yeah.
Corky, didn't you tell me that you guys get inspired by nature, but that you've actually sent employees out into the woods to find just
that may seem a little over the top.
Stick?
We do. Well, so if we have a particular look that we're going, or a species of tree that we're looking, so that we can send folks in the woods to bring a piece back to use as inspiration. That's pretty common.
Wow, that's cool. All right, this next piece, I think this one is where I see the urban in Urban Forge. This is the double wood ring set. It's like to hold your firewood and your fireplace. This is for $42 a month, $504 a year. And it's such a classic shape. It's so beautiful. I can see this in a modern decor.
Yeah, very transitional piece, and it's an interesting way to display wood around your fireplace. So the larger pieces of wood can go inside the larger ring, and there's a smaller ring that you have the option to hang inside the larger one for kindling.
You keep them apart, right?
Yeah, so basically compose art around your hearth. You know, so if you want to hang them, if you want to separate them, If you want to put something other than wood, you can get creative.
By the way, how does your artisan pound out a circle? Explain that to me.
It's a challenging process, yeah. So we have a form in the forge that is in the shape of a circle, and an artisan will take a long length of textured steel, put it into a tunnel forge, get it up to temperature, clamp one end around the ring, and sometimes you have to actually physically walk this thing around the shape and let it cool, and you end up with a ring.
Wow. And you know, many of you support public television at the rate of $100 a month, $1,200 a year. And if you were to do that by pledging here on the number on your screen, you would get all these Urban Forge items as our way of saying thank you for supporting public television. Give us a call on the number on your screen. These are just fantastic products, and they will last you forever. And Corky, you and I have talked about how these become heirlooms almost for families.
Yeah, so our objective is to never have a piece that we make end up in a landfill somewhere. So these are heirloom quality items. They last forever, and it's something that your kids are going to want to keep after you're gone.
And just to show you how special these are, they come with a certificate of authenticity, right?
Yeah.
Signed by the artist?
Exactly. Yeah, so it's got a bit of backstory about the product, and it's signed by an artist that you may even see on the show.
No kidding. All right, this is your chance to own an heirloom with all the spirit, tradition, and artistry of the Ozarks. Your financial support is what allows us to bring you programs like Urban Forge, Ozark Artistry, and these thank you gifts are our way of letting you know how much you mean to us and thanking you for supporting public television. One more time on the products. The key leaf ring is $7 a month, right? $84 a year. You get 2 of the wall hooks for $10 a month, $120 a year. The mug stand is $17 a month, $204 a year. The fire pit combo with the hot dog cooker, which by the way is food safe, right? You can just put your hot dog on there, and the fire poker, $25 a month, $300 a year, and the double wood ring set, $42 a month, $504 a year. Corky, don't be surprised if one of those is missing from the set today.
No, you love that.
Okay, all right, well, call the number on your screen, get your order in. There are people standing by to talk to you and help you pick just the right thing. Let's now go back out to the forge and see how some of these products get made. More of Urban Forge, Ozark Artistry is right now.
I don't think it's a lost art anymore. It was going to be a lost art. In ancient times, they made tools. That was highly important thing, being able to make other tools. A good example of what they made is this nail right here. So until around 1900, no nails were made by a machine. Somebody had to stand in front of an anvil and make every single nail. But in recent times, particularly the last 15 years or so, there's been a renewed interest in the craft. That sound. I've had other people at the Folk Center tell me that as long as they could hear that anvil ringing, they knew things were okay.
He's been doing photography for several years, just as a hobby. And he's got one of them Canon digital camera, which I'm not quite used to, but I'd rather have film.
Go do it again.
My dad is the one that initially got me into photography because he had an old, I know it was an old Canon, but it took the old film cartridges. I remember we would go to the zoo and stuff like that and he would take pictures like that, and I just eventually got to the point where, hey, I want to do that. Started trying to get into it, and yeah. I know it means a lot to him. He's been blacksmithing for a very long time. And he's always talked to me about it whenever I was little. I mean, it meant something, but it didn't mean something as in I understood. Yeah, blacksmithing definitely means a lot to him, and by passing it down, it kind of means a lot to me, too. So. Blacksmithing it's a little different for everybody. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and whenever you learn from somebody else, you kind of take a little bit from their way, but you may find something different that works, and you'll kind of mix and match and just find your own way of doing stuff. A lot of the inspiration to our designs is drawn from nature. A lot of the blacksmiths in general also think about this while they're building, well, we want to look as close to actual nature as we can, but at the same time, we want to make sure it still looks like it's iron.
What makes this area of the world so special are the people. It's a beautiful environment. We have hills, every element of nature that you can imagine. There are waterfalls and trails and places to fish and places to hunt and beautiful vistas to watch a sunset. So it's a remarkable part of the country in terms of just the available beauty. And that beauty is inspirational to us as a company. It's inspirational to people who choose to work here because much of our work incorporates nature.
Whether it's a leaf or a tree branch or a bark-like texture or even the silhouette of the piece, just its organic shape. A lot of that is put into Urban Forge pieces.
When you're just welding, fabricating stuff, you're just taking the straight edges and putting them together, whereas here we got all these curves and textures, and there's a lot of different elements to it. Cool to see a plain piece of metal go looking like bark.
And it takes a craftsman to do something like this, to make the pine cones, to make everything look natural. To me, it looks, yeah, just about as natural as you can get. 28 years ago, I was working in a shirt factory. Yep. We were fixing to close. Shirt factory was fixing to go to Mexico. And the opportunity come up for me to get this job, and I took it. I had my hesitations because I wasn't sure of myself. It's just got its own unique pattern. And no matter how hard you try, you can't get two pieces to look alike because it is all hand done. I can tell you exactly who made what. I've been here so long. Different leaves, you can tell by different leaves. Yeah, I can tell you exactly who did it.
So one of the things that we are well known for are our leaves, right? Everyone here has learned how to make those leaves over time. It's a total hand process. They're not cut out or stamped out or anything of that nature. And it's just it's an extra added touch.
Just about everybody that make a leaf, it comes out the same result, but make it differently. They have their different steps in the way they make it. I think each individual has his own style. He may learn the same concepts in order as anyone else, but you pick it up on what fits you.
Blacksmith will go out and they'll select the raw materials that they want, the iron, the steel. They'll get it cut to length the way that they want it. It comes over to their table, and they put the whole thing together from top to bottom. So it's their piece.
But in a handmade piece that have those little elements and detail, it's a way for a blacksmith to kind of put their stamp on it one last time, and it's there forever.
So I get it started, and then I can continue with it tight. You don't like a saggy seat. I love to sew. I have sewed ever since I was about 5. My mother started me out making doll clothes. Here, I'm responsible for all of it, but I enjoy it, and I love sewing. Out of bullets. And, you know, there's not many skilled sewers anymore. I tried to teach my granddaughters, and they were not interested at all. When you're making something by hand, they don't always turn out exactly the same, and I think that is what makes them unique.
The matter that we're one of the few places that does this type of thing.
It's an artisan-led company.
It gives you a special feeling to be able to work with artisans.
We've been able to take, you know, what we've witnessed in history and form a company out of that same idea.
Bend that around, that little flat piece right there, just a little bit crooked. The creativity from a background aspect does, I think, help. I think played a big part on my behalf of learning it and being able to learn how to do it. So I picked up pretty quickly on it, but it does have, that may be why some can't pick it up, you know what I mean? Didn't have that green thumb or black thumb.
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly call myself an artist. I'm not quite to that level of expertise yet. But there's a line that I heard somewhere that I stick to when it comes to things like this. I know a little about it, a lot, and a lot about nothing, so.
We'll bring 2 different perspectives together and then build out something that neither of us thought about. It's better than either one of us, you know, individually. So.
Yeah, and kind of a better concept sketch that we could give to somebody to prototype.
Well, what's cool about this is it's sort of an organic tree shape. I mean, if you look at the stand on the bottom, it's almost like roots. So
right.
If you texture this thing, it's almost like a mug tree.
As a family unit and organism, I think we have to identify the different parts and pieces that people play, the inception and design phase, all the way to, you know, packaging and send off in a truck somewhere across the country. You know, everyone plays a very specific role in that process.
We connect with Sam. That's where our work comes from. It comes through Sherry and Sam. And Sam brings it out to us.
Actually talked to basically everybody in the company. The work orders make their way on the production floor, and each one is assigned to a certain guy. So if it's custom, usually that will go to Dennis or Daniel. Standard product just kind of goes to whoever's ready after they complete the work order they're on right now.
Blacksmithing, you've got to know how to do it from start to finish. Favorite part about blacksmithing? I get to beat stuff up without sending it to the hospital.
Edgar, I won't teach you this, you know. It didn't me. Just getting out here and doing it taught me. You gotta wanna do it, main thing. That's the main thing, you gotta wanna do it.
So the product gets taken to our Wheelabrator, and then from there it goes to our paint department.
We do have quite a few large orders that do come through, as well as, you know, people that want just a towel holder or something like that. We try and work them through as the blacksmiths get them. Just focus on each piece and try to make each piece as good as possible. But we all do kind of work as a team. I think if it wasn't that way, it probably wouldn't work as good as it does. Cover over them with a good couple coats of paint and hand them off to Sue if they get a special finish.
I don't have no certain way of doing it, just get it on there. I do custom color. I learned as time went on. My tools consist of sponges, sea sponges, 1-inch brushes. You have to have a special sponge. Well, these are in bad shape, but they come with holes in them. And that's the ones we need that will give it the more textured look. And that's it. There is a pleasure I get out of this because I can stand back and look what I accomplished.
Just seeing the finished piece, then going over and seeing it painted, you know, or wired and lit, you know, with lights, and then seeing it in the home. The finished piece is the best.
The goal of Urban Forge is to create pieces of artwork that people will want to hand down to their children.
But sometimes it's the things that it captures over the years, and it's what it means to people, you know, over time. We want to design something that can be a vessel for memories forever.
Heritage. You know, I grew up like this, and I'll die like this. You know, it's part of my heritage. Me, Dennis, and Daniel has gone back for years. You can rely on them. You can depend on them.
We tried to watch out for each other as much as possible to make sure nobody gets burnt. Keep them from getting hurt if you can. Because I know it's just skin, it'll heal, but
we all help each other where help's needed. And sometimes we help them when they don't want help, you know, and then they run you off. But I don't know, I think we all just, we're there for each other if one is needed, you know, by someone.
Yeah, it's definitely like a family.
He's a good kid. He hasn't been here that long. He's probably been here 6 months, maybe. Daniel wanted him to follow in his footsteps, and that's what he's doing.
the only one I'm really interested in passing everything on to that I know is my son. There's a lot of stuff that I do know that I won't teach anybody else besides him. As long as we can take the time and have the patience with him, I think he'd make a decade of him a good blacksmith.
Seeing it firsthand, being able to experience some of the stuff I've heard about, it adds a little bit more, I guess, validity to it. You know, no two pieces of metal are like, you can't bend two pieces to be exact. They're always gonna be a little bit different.
Watch, it's still hot right there.
Yeah, I know. I'm not grabbing it there. I've learned the lesson.
Cool it off real quick. You want to try the next one, or you want me to?
I'll give it a shot.
I don't know what I done, but what me and his mom done, but he's turned out a lot better than what we expected. Thank goodness he didn't give me and his mama the headaches that I give my parents.
Okay, if I glance at this one real quick. Got it, okay.
Well, it's another form of art, to put it simply. And you know, other forms of art are celebrated around the world, so why not blacksmithing? It was a major part of life back years and years ago. It may not be as as needed, but it's still in its own right a beautiful form of art.
There's a lot of machines out there now that they can take pictures and reproduce it with a machine. And that's not the same as doing it handcrafted. Not bad. Not bad. It passed. It passed. First try. As far as telling him how special it is for me to have him up here working with me, I think he pretty well knows it. I've got a lot of love for him. He's about the most important thing in the world for me right now. I wouldn't trade the last 4 months for nothing. Him working up here with me, I wouldn't trade it.
It took me a lot to learn what I learned, what I know, and I still learn. You know, I get things that come along that like, golly, you know, how am I gonna do that? We gotta teach the new guys like William and Braden to do it, or it is gonna be lost, you know, or this ain't gonna be around much longer.
It takes sometimes 2 or 3 years to create a master blacksmith. I can't remember in the last number of years where we've ever had an opportunity just to hire a blacksmith off the street. It typically doesn't happen that way.
I feel that there are people out there that would be great at it, and I don't think many people know, that this exists.
The art of blacksmithing and working with metal in that way, I don't want to see that lost. I don't want to see that gone. I want to see it carried on to the next generation, and I want them to see the value that it holds.
Once knowledge is lost, it's really hard to get it back to the same state it used to be. Like, where there's been techniques lost over the years, there's been knowledge lost, and we may never get that back, as sad as it is.
I just wished I actually had enough time to pass all of it on to them. The knowledge needs to be passed down. It definitely does. As far as production blacksmithing, I can kind of see it coming to an end for some people because older bodies just don't hold up like it used to.
I've run across several guys young guys that want to do it and is interested in it. And in reality, they're the ones that would keep it going. But if it's not passed down, it's going to be lost, you know. Well, all the ones I know, they're my age.
Yeah, I definitely think it's important to carry on the tradition. Definitely.
I'm Ed Leon here with the father and son duo behind Urban Forge, Corky and Andy Baker. Guys, I'm so impressed with what you have accomplished here in the hills of Arkansas. You know, it seems like you do everything, from the blacksmithing to the shipping to the design, right? You guys are the original designers?
Right, yeah, absolutely. We are.
It's like a family here. Tell me about that family. What makes that magic happen?
Yeah, so everybody has just a specific role that they fill, but oftentimes they overlap and do everything and do other things outside of that just need to be done. I think of Sue, Mama Sue, that you see in the show, and she's a very special person. She's sort of last in line to make sure that everything is just perfect before it goes out to a client.
You've said that the employees inform the products. What does that mean?
Well, we have a basic design for the product, but within the parameters of that design, there's a human creativity that's exerted every time a piece is made. And so that becomes sort of you get to watch the creativity that comes from individual people as they express their art.
That handmade aspect. By the way, do they consider themselves artists?
Usually not. They are, but usually not. And that's part of the reason we have them sign a certificate of authenticity. We want them to know who they are, yes.
Right. It's so amazing they've gathered this group of talented individuals here in Arkansas. And this is your chance, folks, to get your piece of the forge. Your financial contribution supports your public television station and makes programs like this one possible, along with all the amazing programming from PBS. And as a thank you for your support, we have these heirloom items that I'm about to show you, handcrafted at the forge by some of the artisans that you've just seen. Each item is a functional work of art, guaranteed to last forever, and comes with a certificate of authenticity signed by the artisan. Let's begin with the leaf key ring, which I think is just so beautiful, Andy. It's just like, I could see this having been in my backyard, but it's in my pocket.
Yeah.
It's in my pocket.
Yeah, so it's not a stamped piece. Everything you see here, all the detail is made by hand, and it's a really beautiful leaf.
And the key ring is $7 a month, $84 a year for a one-of-a-kind. I mean, again, one-of-a-kind for our viewers, for our PBS viewers, right? Because this is only available here.
Correct. We designed this for this event specifically.
That's great. We also have the wall hooks, a set of two, $10 a month, $120 a year. Nature on your walls.
Yeah, what a great way to bring a little bit of the outside in a creative way to hang a coat or a scarf or something like that.
We also have the mug stand and the mugs, $17 a month, $204 a year.
Yeah, so the mug stand is designed to be sort of a miniature tree that holds your mugs on your countertop, and it comes with two ceramic sort of contemporary mugs with our logo etched in the corner, and it's a really neat piece.
We also have the fire pit combo. We have the fire poker and two hot dog cookers, which it doesn't have to be hot dogs, folks. It could be marshmallows, right? You can, or chicken thighs. I'm not sure. I don't know. Those are $25 a month, $300 a year. And I love the fire poker. It's just so elegant.
It's a great piece. It sort of mimics a branch that'll last forever. The handle is a little bit larger so you can grip it well, and it's finished in a sort of a copper accent. It's a neat piece.
And then there's the piece that I just have fallen in love with, and that is the double wood ring set to hold the wood in your fireplace and the kindling as well.
Yeah, what a great transitional piece to sort of take a creative approach, an unexpected approach to your hearth that you can hold firewood and kindling at the same time.
That is $42 a month, $504 a year to get I think it's as much a contemporary item as a classic rustic item. Sure. It's so beautiful. And then, folks, many of you support public television to the rate of $100 a month just because you love the mission of public television. But imagine doing that now here, and you get all 5 items as our way of saying thank you. Call the number of your screen. You would get the key ring, the wall hooks, the mug stand and the custom mugs, the fire pit combo with the fire poker and 2 hot dog cookers, and the double wood set, ring set. That's wow, right? It is a wow thing, and it's $100, $1,200 a year. Corky, this is this is such an unusual place in an unlikely setting, right? What do you think makes it so special, and why do you think you've been able to accomplish this here in the hills of Arkansas?
I don't know if we could have blossomed any other place. It's a creative environment. Music happens spontaneously here. So you have the combination of creative people who work hard, and that's precisely the kind of thing that you have to have in order to make a forge work.
Right. It's not for the meek.
It's not for the meek. It's hard work.
It is hard work. But the beauty that comes out of it is just incredible. Let's recap the beauty that comes out of it. It's including the leaf key ring, $7 a month, $84 a year. The wall hooks, 2 of them, $10 a month, $120 a year. Your contribution to keep public television strong and vibrant and thriving. The mug stand and the mugs, $17 a month, $204 a year. And you also can get the fire pit combo. That fire pit combo includes the fire poker, inspired by a stick in Corky's backyard. Right? And the 2 hot dog cookers, so each of your kids can sit and roast marshmallows. We shouldn't call it the hot dog cooker. We should call it the marshmallow cooker.
/ chicken thigh cooker.
Right, or chicken thigh cooker. $25 a month, $300 a year. And then the double wood ring set, that is really the topper, $42 a month, $504 a year. And if you are feeling generous, we're here for you. All the Urban Forge items, really, they last forever, these things. And that's the key ring, the wall hooks, the mug stand, the fire pit combo, and the double wood ring set for $100 a month contribution to your public television station. Guys, you know, we're coming up to the end here. What would you say is the legacy that you want to leave with this brand and this blacksmithing company that you have? Urban Forge, what's the legacy you want for it?
You know, my grandfather was a maker, my dad was a maker, my grandmother and my mother were both artists, and those two elements have sort of been combined in our lives. We do both, we design, but we want to give people the opportunity to express their own creativity through this work. It adds value to the human experience, it adds a tremendous amount of value on the design side to our product. So the legacy is really about humans expressing who they are through functional art at the Urban Forge.
Yeah, you design it, you make it, and it is functional art. And I think that people, we sometimes have lost track of that because it's a, you know, kind of a mass-produced society. And you know, all these products, I mean, you can find these products mass-produced.
Sure.
Other places.
Much easier ways to make things than the way that we do.
Yeah, but that's such a hard road that you've chosen.
It is, but it's a good one, and it's honest, and it's a trade. It's important to our blacksmiths.
Well, the authenticity shows. It comes through with everyone you've seen at the Forge, and certainly these products that we have for you as thank you gifts. Call the number on your screen. Pledge your support to public television and all the amazing work and programming that comes from PBS. Corky and Andy, thank you so much for letting us spend time with you, with your employees at the Forge. It's an incredible, unique place. And thank you for supporting public television. Call the number on your screen. Let us know that you want to see more programs like these on your public television station. For everyone on our crew and for everyone at Urban Forge, I'm Ed Leon, thanking you and saying goodbye. Thank you. See you soon.